The motor cortex, a brief history of cortical electrical stimulation. We all know that our brain works via electricity, a biological electricity. And as a way to better understand our brain, and in particular motor control, we review the discovery of the effects of applying electric current to the nervous system. We begin this story with Luigi Galvani and Alessandro Volta in Italy in the 18th century, two giants from that country. They became matched in a battle over electricity being of an animal base or electricity being a phenomena external to the animal. Galvani experimented with dissected frogs. He placed various metals and combinations of metals on the frog, connecting the sciatic nerve to leg muscles. In this slide, we see a bimetallic arc composed of copper and zinc. Contact of the metal to the nerve and the muscle caused the frog's leg to twitch. Galvani concluded that there must be some electricity intrinsic to the animal. He called this electricity animal electricity. On his discovery, he wrote, "And still we could never suppose that fortune were to be so friend to us, such as to allow us to be perhaps the first in handling, as it were, the electricity concealed in nerves, in extracting it from nerves, and in some way in putting it under everyone's eyes." Alessandro Volta comes along and repeats Galvani's experiments and confirms Galvani's research. Volta, however, soon observed that muscle contraction could occur when the bimetallic arc connected 2 points of the same nerve. He also observed that bimetallic arcs were better at causing muscle contractions than monometallic arcs. On metallic arcs being more effective than monometallic arcs, Galvani simply stated that was really wonderful. Volta, however, considered the possibility that the electricity was external in origin and derived from the metals used for the connection. Volta, of course, was correct. The electricity was caused by the two metals, and the nerve was a conductor of this electricity. Looking back, electricity is about the movement of charges, electrons, whether it is in metals or nerves. Galvani observed movement of charge in the animal, while Volta saw it in the metals. Volta went on to invent his voltaic pile, the first battery, shown here demonstrating his discovery to Napoleon. In that era, Mary Shelley became inspired by the electricity, bringing the frog back to life, and out of this she wrote the famous Frankenstein story. Now to the 19th century, and we go from the frog's leg to the dog's head. And I don't mean a couple of new brews from your favourite brewery. Ha ha. Gustav Fritsch and Eduard Hitzig were medical Privatdozens or assistant professors. Fritsch had worked in the battlefield and Hitzig was a psychiatrist. In 1870 they applied galvanic electrical stimulation to a dog's exposed cortex. When stimulating the various regions shown on this slide, they invoked twitches or zungungen. Rather crude, the animal was alive without anesthetic, and not much of a topography. However, they did reveal cortical electrical stimulation evoked contralateral movements, different cortical regions activated different muscles, and there was a basic topographical map of movements of the body. Still in the 19th century, David Ferrier soon followed on from Fritsch and Hitzig's experiments with galvanic current to report in 1873 on the effects of longer duration stimulation with faradic current. The faradic inductorium shown here was believed to be what Ferrier used. Unlike Fritsch and Hitzig, Ferrier obtained complex movements rather than twitches. A cat would raise its shoulder and arm as if to paw. A dog moved its mouth and sniffed, and a rabbit performed munching movements. Ferrier produced the first comprehensive motor map of the monkey motor cortex. And Beaver and Horsley followed up in 1890 with the most comprehensive map for the 19th century. I want to labour a little on the difference between the Fritz and Hitzig and Ferrier results. Fritz and Hitzig used galvanic stimulation while Ferrier used faradic. Ferrier wrote that faradic current is less damaging than the galvanic. He also reported that it only produced twitches, as Fritz and Hitzig had reported. Secondly, and this is still very true today, is the duration of the stimulation. Short duration brings about twitches, while long duration produces complex movements. The difference is a significant fact in the argument between what it is that the cortex controls. Does it control muscles, or does it control movements for motor control?